Sean Diddy Combs, once a celebrated icon in music, fashion, and entrepreneurship, now stands at the center of a sweeping legal crisis. What began with a shocking claim involving a $100 million default judgment has unraveled into a broader narrative of controversy, denials, and serious criminal allegations. The initial civil suit, now debunked, drew national attention and sparked questions about justice, celebrity, and accountability. In June 2024, Derek Lee Cardello Smith, an inmate serving up to 75 years in Michigan for kidnapping and multiple counts of criminal sexual conduct, filed a handwritten civil lawsuit accusing Combs of a 1997 sexual assault. Cardello Smith alleged that the rape kit from that alleged assault had gone untested for decades, only to be examined in 2024 as part of Detroit's initiative to clear its sexual assault kit backlog. According to him, that test revealed Combs' DNA. At first glance, the claim fit a larger national conversation about rape kit backlogs and systemic neglect. It also arrived during a time of mounting scrutiny of Combs, who was already facing multiple lawsuits and criminal charges related to alleged sexual misconduct. But something didn't add up. Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy, whose office had led the nationally recognized effort to address Detroit's untested rape kits, issued a rare public clarification. Her spokeswoman, Maria Miller, confirmed to USA Today that Cardello Smith's allegations were entirely false. Not only was he never included in the Detroit sexual assault kit project, but there was also no kit related to him tested in 2024. Despite this, in September 2024, Judge Anna Marie Anzalone awarded Cardello Smith a default judgment of $100 million. Combs, unaware of the suit, had not responded, because he had never been served. Media coverage of the ruling was the first time he and his legal team had even heard of the case. Within days, Combs retained the Michigan law firm Fink Bresic. His lawyers moved quickly, arguing that the judgment should be overturned due to improper service. The judge agreed, reversing the default award. The suit was then transferred to federal court, where it was ultimately dismissed with prejudice in January 2025 by U.S. District Judge Judith E. Levy. That dismissal prevents Cardello Smith from refiling. Undeterred, Cardello Smith has since made several unsuccessful attempts to revive the case. Acting without legal representation, and with a deeply troubling criminal background, he has become a symbol of how flawed accusations can still cause public disruption, especially when they intersect with high-profile figures under intense scrutiny. Combs' legal team was blunt in its response. This man is a convicted felon and sexual predator, who has been sentenced on 14 counts of sexual assault and kidnapping over the last 26 years, attorney Mark Agnifilo stated. His resume now includes committing a fraud on the court from prison. But the Cardello Smith suit, false as it was, is only one part of a much larger and far more serious picture. Over the past year, Sean Combs has been named in multiple civil lawsuits, many of which contain deeply disturbing allegations. These suits range from sexual assault to drugging, manipulation, physical abuse, and trafficking, some of which date back to the 1990s. The most widely publicized case was filed by Cassandra Ventura Fine, better known to the world as Cassie. She alleged years of abuse, including physical and emotional violence, while in a relationship with Combs. The impact of her claims was amplified by the 2024 release of surveillance footage from a Los Angeles hotel in 2016. The video, aired by CNN, shows Combs striking and dragging Cassie. Combs' legal team quickly claimed the footage had been doctored. CNN denied any manipulation. Public reaction was swift and fierce. Within a day of her filing the lawsuit, Combs agreed to a $20 million settlement with Cassie. Critics argued that the fast payout reflected guilt, while supporters claimed it was a strategy to avoid further damage to his reputation and business interests. Regardless of motive, the damage was done. Brands distanced themselves, public sentiment shifted, and most importantly, federal authorities took notice. In May 2025, Combs' criminal trial began in the Southern District of New York. The charges are severe: racketeering, sex trafficking, and the transportation of individuals across state lines to engage in prostitution. These aren't minor accusations, they point to an organized system of abuse and exploitation. Jury selection began on May 5, and opening statements followed. Cassie took the stand and testified for 4 consecutive days, offering detailed accounts of abuse and coercion. Her testimony is considered a cornerstone of the prosecution's case. Combs' defense argues that the trial is politically motivated, driven by public pressure and media bias. They claim the accusers are exaggerating, fabricating, or seeking financial compensation. Still, the weight of testimony and mounting evidence makes the defense's job difficult. Behind the courtroom walls, the case has already caused seismic shifts in Combs' world. His reputation, once bolstered by his musical legacy and business savvy, now teeters on collapse. The companies he built are facing investor pressure. Music collaborators have distanced themselves. Events once headlined by his name are now being rebranded. But beyond the celebrity fallout, this trial also represents a broader cultural reckoning. It is part of an ongoing movement in which survivors are empowered to speak up, and institutions are slowly becoming more responsive to allegations of abuse, especially against high-profile figures. As the trial progresses, more alleged victims may come forward. The FBI and federal prosecutors have hinted at ongoing investigations, suggesting that this trial might only be the beginning. What's at stake isn't just Sean Combs' freedom, it's also the question of whether power and celebrity can still insulate individuals from the consequences of their actions. To some, the story of Diddy is a cautionary tale about unchecked power. To others, it's a reminder that false accusations, like the one from Cardello Smith, can weaponize legitimate legal channels and muddy the waters of justice. The challenge now lies in separating fact from fiction. As of now, Combs continues to deny all wrongdoing. His team insists he will be vindicated in court, but the weight of multiple lawsuits, disturbing evidence, and credible testimonies suggests a much darker reality may soon be fully revealed. No matter the verdict, the damage to Combs' legacy has already begun. His career, once defined by hit records and cultural innovation, is now entangled with scandal and accusation. He stands not just as a defendant in a courtroom, but as a symbol of the broader moment in which society is re-examining its treatment of victims, accountability, and the boundaries of power. The trial is expected to continue through June. What happens next will not just determine the fate of Sean Combs, it may shape the next chapter in the cultural conversation about fame, abuse, and justice in America.